There's a false Christianity that's willing to kill for Jesus, but is not willing to do what Jesus said do. When Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, we have a scene where Peter is fighting for Jesus, where in an attempt to stop the authorities from taking Jesus into custody, Peter draws his sword, and with a wild swing, he lops off the ear of Malchus, the servant of Caiaphas, the high priest. The Gospels say that Jesus immediately rebukes Peter, and even goes so far to heal the wound Peter caused. But here's the thing we miss. Peter wasn't swinging for Malchus's ear. Peter was going for Malchus's head and missed. He had murder in his heart in defense of Jesus. But mere hours later, when a young woman confronts Peter about being with Jesus, Peter publicly denies knowing Jesus 3 times, even yelling defiantly, "A curse on me if I'm lying. I don't know the man." So here's a man willing to kill in Jesus' name, but is not willing to actually put his own self on the line when it counted. So you see, there's a version of Christianity willing to kill, but not truly sacrifice. There's a version of Christianity willing to act on its own interest, crouched in good intentions, even masked in the name of the Lord, but in truth is anti-Christ in every way. There are people willing to kill for Jesus and defend him and rebuke others, but when it comes down to it, they aren't willing to do what it is that he said do. The whole love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and loving your neighbor as you love yourself thing. People are willing to try and force others to be like them, act like them, and even lash out violently when they feel threatened, when they feel their version of Jesus is under attack. People are too willing to condemn, to rebuke, and to kill with their words and thoughts, even sometimes with their hands. They're willing to kill in the name of their faith, to enforce their brand of Jesus on others, their doctrines, their dogma, claim to speak for Jesus in the defense of harm of others, and invoke his judgment when it's actually their judgment, instead of turning the other cheek, offering forgiveness, and doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly with God. Instead of bringing good news to the poor, wholeness to the brokenhearted, freedom to the prisoners, and recovery of sight to the blind, and freeing those who are oppressed, proclaiming the acceptable year of the Lord, that it is Jesus's love that is the vengeance upon the darkness of this world. There are people willing to condemn from the stage and from the anonymity of their social media profiles than to actually go out into the public sphere and be the hands and feet of Jesus, loving those that the world considers misled and unworthy. Truth is, it's easier to threaten others with hellfire, judgment, and condemnation than to serve, than to give, and to love. Yet, as followers of Christ, that's what Christians are supposed to do, to place our differences aside, to love one another, and widows, orphans, and foreigners, the sick, the marginalized, the weak, and the needy. This is how Jesus said his true disciples would be known, for their love for one another, by the giving of hope, the good news, the love and sacrifice of Jesus. So, what have you been spreading? Are you willing to kill for Jesus? Are you willing to condemn in his name? Jesus never asked you to do that. But if you're driven by your anger and your misplaced passion, there is hope for you, just like there was for Peter. After the resurrection, Jesus made it a point to restore Peter. You know, Jesus being who Jesus is and all, forgiving Peter and letting Peter know who Peter really was in Jesus' sight thing. And we know from extra-biblical sources that Peter was executed in 64 AD after spending the rest of his life spreading the good news of Christ. And we're told that Peter went to his death willingly, head held high, being crucified upside down, because he said he was unworthy to die in the same manner of Christ. Like Peter, we still have a chance to turn it around. Let's be like Jesus. Let's actually do what Jesus said do. Let's restore the broken, face down injustice, speak up for those who can't speak for themselves, and bring hope and life, and be that shining city on a hill. And for the love of all that's holy, can we just stop killing each other with our words and actions? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but love wins. God bless. See you soon.